It is all in the brush. Written by mzjanis and read by mzjanis. I never realized just who you were exactly until I began seeing you at work and undertook the task of making mental notes of what I saw. You were just sitting there doing your own thing, as you would call it, while all the people that surrounded you continually asked questions, talked about their concerns or interests, then waited patiently for you to respond. You know, I liked the way those in your presence never bombarded you for your attention. It seemed that they each gave the impression to know that you would eventually get to them with a patient and sincere response. All my thoughts those times I noticed you from a distance were always the same. Wow. Now, who is that young kid who appears to exhibit such a knowledge way beyond his years? I would just shake my head in amazement, then think, how could he even know that? And why, of all the people created in the world, would others go to him with their questions, concerns, ideas, and deepest thoughts? Putting those questions to rest will actually be both a privilege and an honor. I know it's going to take some time, but I'm going to get it. One day my curiosity, though, got the best of me, and I decided to venture just a wee bit closer to hear just a little bit better the knowledge coming from you. And yes, I am so glad I made that choice, because this is what I saw, and this is what I heard. Okay, you had already taken your brushes out of their case, and you had strategically laid them on a piece of cloth. Now, the texture of the material that you laid your brushes on appeared to be raw silk, and the design was of a green, red, white, brown, black, and gold tapestry. The blending of the colors kept me mesmerized for quite some time. I even noticed myself staring. On the other hand, to see the graceful ways you would take your paintbrushes to dip them in the paint and apply the colors you would mix on the canvas was an art in itself. Yet to behold the beauty of your finished product was simply awesome. And if I were to describe what my eyes beheld in my own words, would be like telling of an experience that is joyous, exhilarating, and breathtaking all at the same time. The questions that were asked of you on the day I decided to include myself in the group was based on what individuals had learned from others who were considered their mentors, teachers, parent, or friends. One young guy, he had to be at least in his late teens, if not just getting acquainted with being 20, had asked you a question concerning life as he knew it, and you replied in such a manner that every head nodded in agreement at the same time, with the same rhythm. I was simply amazed, as usual. You know what? On this particular day, I was in your presence for hours, but I'm just going to tell it to you like this. I sat and listened attentively for approximately 3.5 hours, and noticed that people came and went, but you never appeared rushed, unconcerned, bored, or tired in the slightest way. In fact, as the day unfolded, you seemed to be even more alert and as if you were at the right place at the right time and doing exactly the right things needed at that particular moment. Okay, after 5 hours of listening to you, your wisdom, your knowledge, and much appreciated answers to questions, stories, and shared ideas, I stood and said a silent, "Take care, my friend. I'll see you again soon." And almost on cue, and as if you somehow heard me, because I remember whispering, you turned your head in my direction, nodded at me with closed eyes, as if you were answering with, "Until then, my friend." Then you turned back around, not skipping a beat, and finished what you started. You were explaining the illustration of the little girl who knew the alphabet, but did not know how to put the letter into words. But she had a determination to write something to her friend. You were explaining that what she did was she just continually wrote the alphabet, A, B, C, but she wrote them in different orders, L, N, O, S, Q, R, W, A, B, C, L, N, O, S, Q, R, W, and then handed a little note to a friend and said, "This letter says, I love you." I just smiled and shook my head in amazement as I walked away. I purposed within myself, as I was walking away, to engage in a conversation with you the next time I was in your presence. My desire is to just simply see how it would feel to have you speak directly to me. I realized that it would be a few days before that transpired, so I thought that in the meantime, I would search within myself for the perfect topic to discuss, the most important thing that I wanted to ask. As the days elapsed and my time to see you again neared, I decided to ask what I thought would be a very simple question of you, but one that was dear to my heart. I was going to say, will I ever be able to communicate with my family in the manner you appear to talk to others? Yes, that's it. I was going to say those words. Will I ever be able to communicate with my family in the manner you appear to talk to others? Oh, I practiced it. I stood in front of the mirror and said it over and over. I was trying to make it shorter. I was doing everything I possibly can think of. And then I just said, I'm just going to just make my way up to him and I'm going to say, "Excuse me, will I ever be able to communicate with my family in the manner you appear to talk to others?" I admit, you appear to be a natural talker. It also seems that talking about the concern of others is the easiest thing in the world for you to do. Okay, this is the day. And I remember this. As I approached the area where you were on what I would consider being my day, I caught myself going there extremely earlier, hoping that I would get to see what I saw the last time. You taking your brushes out, you laying them on the table, or putting them on the material. So I'm going to say this. You had already taken your brushes out of their case and strategically laid them on the piece of cloth. People were already there, and conversations with them had already commenced. My heart skipped a beat, and a sense of sadness was trying to get my attention because there was no way I would be able to get any closer than the back of the crowd. Okay, even though I could hear very clearly what was being responded to and expressed, I felt my need to talk with you on a personal level was not going to be met. So I'm going to admit, I took one step back, and just as I turned to go away with my head hung low, I heard the question I had prepared to ask. Yes, the exact question. Will I ever be able to communicate with my family in the manner you appear to talk to others? I could not believe it. Yet I did believe it in the same instant because I heard with my own ears. This time, my hand went up to my open mouth as I shook my head in amazement. Then, in the same time it takes for a quarter to fall from the hand to the ground, this thought came to my mind. He cares, knows, and understands the heart of people. Your reply to the question will be etched in my being forever plus. Your answer was not simple, nor was it yes or no. It appeared that you took your time as you explained and demonstrated what you wanted known forever. You said, close your eyes. And I just act like I asked the question because that was my question. So I closed my eyes. And as soon as I did, I actually began to picture the words you spoke. Yes, I saw the artist sitting in front of the easel with purpose and confidence. And yes, I believe that the artist was in command of his surroundings. I also understood how the artist would use his 5 senses to transfer what he saw on the canvas in front of him. And I imagined the different color paints in their containers. I felt that he was able of starting and finishing any project set before him. I perceived that the artist recognized the importance each brush played in finishing the work. Then it appeared that after you knew I got that picture, you said, it's all in the brush. It's all in the BRUSH. It's all in the letter B stands for B, R really, U understanding, S sincerely, H honest. Then you said, you have to be really understanding and sincerely honest. You know, my life from that point on took on a whole different total meaning. You have to be really understanding and sincerely honest. From that point on, I began to walk better, to talk better, to live better. My life was better. And I realized that you know my heart and you speak directly to it. Forever, I would cherish the knowledge of knowing who you are and why, out of all the people in the world, others go to you with their questions, concerns, ideas, and deepest thoughts. It's all in the brush.